So Steve, welcome to my porch.
Thank you for having me to your porch.
This is a very special day. So today we bottled the first ever Willett Family Estate small batch bourbon, 4-year-old, cask strength.
So we're some of the first people to drink this.
We are the first
It's not
people.
on shelves yet.
No, it's not even in cartons yet. So very monumental day, very fitting times as we approach Thanksgiving. So how better to start our time together here.
I love that. And we got to get it smelling good too. And you were telling me earlier, you want this on all the Thanksgiving tables, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
Let me tell you something
mine.
fun about spirits and candles. You may or may not know this, but if you look up at the color of the ceiling here on the porch, it's like this light Caribbean blue.
I love that. Yeah, it's
And
like a core. Yeah,
It's because it was supposed to keep bad spirits out, and that's what a lot of people say candles do as
they
well.
do.
So,
They do. And it's all about, I mean, it's all sensory, right?
yeah, here's to only the good spirits.
That's right. Cheers.
Only ones welcome on the porch tonight.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And how long was this in development for?
Well, as you know, like we released this through our single barrel program.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of wanted to have a complementary counterpart to the rye that we have out in the market. That's a 4-year small batch cask
One of my
strength.
favorites and know
Me
it very
too.
well.
Love that rye whiskey. So we've talked about this for a little while, but we actually had this come to fruition pretty quickly because that's one nice thing about family business is you can get things done pretty immediately, right?
Yeah.
You have a thought, you
Yeah.
have an idea, and then the next thing you know, it's on the bottling line. So
Because you guys are still fully family owned, right?
absolutely, 100%.
Okay. Started by your grandfather?
Yep, 1936.
Okay, so how early did you guys get involved with the business, you and your brother? Because you and your brother run it together.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Illegally, we got involved probably around the ages of, 6 to 8, when our father was having us put mealworms into tequila bottles on the bottling line.
Okay. So you guys were doing tequila too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not distilling it, but bottling it.
Okay.
Legally got involved in the fall of 2005.
Okay.
So, actually October, so 20 years.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
No way. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it's you and your brother, and what roles do you guys fill?
So my brother is our master distiller, and he kind of heads all of the operational side of the business, if you will. I'm more of anything not related to the equipment. So that's kind of, in layman's terms, how our roles play out. And it's really, like, we are really suited to our personalities and the roles we play. My brother's always had a Lego mind. He's one of those people that you would get the game Zelda or Super Mario Brothers on your Nintendo,
He's
and
type A.
you
He's just
played
like,
it till
yep.
you beat it.
Yep.
No, everybody in our family is type A. But, so he's really well suited to that. I'm really well suited to the human side of the business. And so we just really, I think, complement each other just phenomenally.
I love that because so at Ranger Station, it started out with me making candles on my stovetop, and then my brother came in pretty quickly to help me out, my identical twin brother, John, and then and he is still with us, running all of our manufacturing, and then my wife, Jordan, also started, she's there from the beginning, but she came on full time in 2020, and so it's very much so a family affair, and I think it's a really unique thing, because something that I hear all the time is, oh man, I couldn't work with family, but I think there's something special to it, and I'd love to hear more about your experience with it. But I feel like I heard it said so well one time, and it was like the lows can be lower, but the highs are so much higher, and that fully outweighs the low parts. You just have to kind of learn to navigate what that looks like. But what has that looked like for you and your brother, but also just the family in general, because it's been with your grandfather starting it?
Yeah, I love that. I've not actually heard that. But one thing our father always said, he recently passed away, is he said that family business is the toughest business to be in. And that is true. And, when you think about it, this may or may not be true for you, but you have your family dynamics, and then you have your family business. Your family dynamics are playing out in your family business.
Absolutely.
So whatever your role was in the family, that's kind of what your role is in the business too. So all of your functions and all of your dysfunctions, are
Yep.
playing out in your business. And, yes, it's my brother and I. His wife, Janelle, has been running our visitor center for many years. We have people that I've known since I was 3 years old that are doing our marketing and social media and our online store. So it's people know you more intimately than anyone else. And you couldn't have people more invested personally, emotionally. And so that's why I would say, yeah, the highs are very high and the lows are the depths of low.
Totally. Yeah. But I think it's special because even in those low times, it's like you've got, like your family is with you, so sometimes it can be harder to, shut it off when you get home, right? Because it's like
Well, you don't.
You don't.
You don't shut it off.
Yeah.
And as you know, working with your wife, like you're really never shutting it off. It's just like us at Thanksgiving, we're never not talking about.
It's what's going on in your life.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think there's you said like the family dynamics come to work with you. I love working with family because yes, our family dynamics come to work, but with that family dynamic is that I think family dynamics come out so much, especially at like holidays and stuff like that, because it's such a safe place where you're just comfortable with those people. And so it makes it so much easier especially when stuff does go wrong.
Yeah.
It's like you never feel like you're walking on eggshells with anybody.
Well, first of all, we're not going to get fired.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're not going to get fired, you're allowed to be a lot more courageous than you probably would be otherwise. You're more vulnerable. You take greater risks because and in your lows, you really band together and rally together. So it's just like being the underdog. And like my favorite game of all is to be underestimated. So, when you have people that rally around you, it's like you almost get a high in the lows too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Have y'all run into like any specific challenges with working as a family? Like, has it ever, do you ever feel like it's ever stood in your way at all?
I don't know that it's ever stood in our way, except for, we kind of all get into our own way sometimes.
Fair.
And I think sometimes, I can only speak for myself personally, but I may stay silent where otherwise I wouldn't because I want to keep the peace, for example. Or someone so well that you think you know what their reaction would be, so then you kind of pull yourself back a little bit. And so I could see where I stand in my own way with things like that, but I don't know that it's really stood in the way of anything, especially as we were saying, when you have the dynamics that we do and it's just a few people making the decisions, you can get things done pretty immediately.
Yeah.
And you can do things your own way, right? We don't have investors, we don't have a board of people that we are accountable to. So it's like, hey, what do you want to do? What do you not want to do?
You're accountable to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really special where it's like, you can make a decision and start executing it right away.
Yeah.
With the people that you trust the most.
Yeah.
I think that's the other special thing about family and family business is that there is that ultimate trust there where it's you never have to question, does this person care about what we're doing?
Right.
And I think that's really special. And you never have to question their motives. Especially when stuff gets hard.
Yeah.
But even better when you're dreaming about stuff, like that they're fully invested in what you're doing, which I think is really, really cool.
Well, because everybody has the shared agenda, the shared vision. We may not always agree on how we get there, but at the end of the day, that is shared.
Yeah. So you've got your family dynamic, but not everybody on the team is family, right? So how does how you guys approach business as a family? How do you guys translate to that to the rest of the team so that they feel a similar commitment to the cause, if you will, or what you guys are creating?
So our entire business from top to bottom, our mantras, our pillars, our handbook is all of our family values. And each one of us embodies them. So it's not just, this is what we think and this is what we say. It's, no, this is how we live. And this is what we do. And every single person embodies them, because the most important thing to us whenever anybody joins our team, or I say sits at our lunch table, is they have to be an aligned fit. We're not interested in your experience. We are interested in your work ethic and your attitude. Those two things cannot be trained or learned. You either have them or you don't, but you can learn any kind of skill if you want to. So oftentimes we hire people that we don't even have an opening for, but we create a role because they're such an aligned fit with us that it's like, hey, you got to come sit at our lunch table.
Yeah, you need
and
to be a part of this.
And
yeah.
we invest in people for life.
I love
We
that.
we do, and we expect the same. But we really truly live and embody our family values.
I love that too, because I think in so many businesses there's a disconnect between the live to work and work to live like idea, and I think it can all be, our work can be a part of of our whole life, right? It's not like we go to work to make money so that we can live. It's such a big part of what we do. Like, we spend so much time with these people, and I say this to our team quite often, but it's, we've got to do something with our lives. We've got to do something with our time. Like we're created to work. There's something in us that wants to work, right? So, like, I think we need to give it the credit it deserves, and treat it as something that is very important, because, I don't want people showing up to work as a means to an end. This is where we're spending most of our time, right? So it's like, I want to make sure, to your point, it's with people that really care and that we really enjoy being around, and that we get to celebrate the big wins with.
Yeah.
And we get to, work through the hard stuff with. I think that's like so special.
Yeah, because it really comes down to, do you share our values? If you are motivated by extrinsic things like money, you're not going to really be a good fit for us. But if you're motivated by the intrinsic things of just working with good people, integrity, authenticity, transparency, really caring about what you do, then you're going to last the test of time with us, is really how it is. It's, do we have shared values or do we not?
So I'm sure the shared values is a big piece of this, but that makes me think, how do you preserve, I love that you said, like, if your number one priority is money, you're not going to be a good fit for us. So how do you preserve a brand and the value of the soul of the brand, and it being about the actual craft of what you guys create? Well, of course, it's a business, but how do you preserve that soul of the brand?
Well, I think first, we've really learned through our hiring process how we do find people that are aligned fit with our team. And we're extremely raw and honest and transparent with them, because the most important thing is, you have to know what you're signing up for. The last thing I ever want to hear, if we've hired someone and they say, well, I never would have signed up for this, or I didn't sign up for this, it's, you know exactly what you're signing up for. Like, we could not be more abundantly clear about that. That's number one. Number two is we empower our people. And when you empower your people, honestly so, not just checking a box.
Yeah.
It's felt.
Actually empowering them.
It's felt.
Yeah.
And they feel valued.
Well,
and
as we were just leaving, I saw you do that with your people, and I noticed it, where you were calling out like the great things that they were doing and the compliments that they had. And like, I saw how they had, and even in that like little moment, I saw that how they felt empowered in their position.
Yeah.
And emboldened to create spaces for people.
But it's sincere.
Yeah.
And so
it's real. It's not contrived.
Yeah, it's sincere. And it's, so they know that they're valued, they know they're impactful. And at the end of the day, everybody just wants to feel those things. So they want to feel like they belong. Like that is, I think everybody has that shared motivation at the end of the day. And I think, again, when you live that, and it's not just the handbook says, but when you actually embody and you live that, and everybody experiences that with you, then everybody's like, oh, this is real. Like that. Oh, this is how we are. Like, this isn't just lip speak. And so I think that that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah, I love that. So do you have any examples of like things, and it might just be little day-to-day things, but how you embolden the people, how you empower your people to like live out your company values?
Well, we give people responsibility. And we give them a lot of responsibility, and we give it to them before they think they're ready. It's just like,
And that makes them feel like they belong, like they're part of that shared future.
Yeah, and because, it's like, we can say all day long, like, well, I'm going to have a child once I've saved enough money. Okay, well, that's never going to happen. Like, we will never have saved enough money to have a child, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for fill in the blank. I need more training. I need more time. I need more. But, you know, the only way that you're really going to get that is through experience and exposure. And it's like, no, you're ready. And even if you're not ready, like, we're there to hold your hand. Like, you're going to make a mistake. But our big thing, like, one of our biggest mantras is take ownership of your fuck up. Like, that's so important.
Yeah.
Hold yourself accountable. We're going to figure this out. We're going to fix it. But, like, you've got to take ownership of that. Like, that's so important. You have to take ownership of everything, right? Because accountability is so important. So that's one of our things. And when people are not afraid to fail and they know, like, I'm not going to get in trouble, I'm being encouraged to ask questions. I'm being encouraged to learn. Because our big thing is you're either a learner or a non-learner. We want you to be a learner every day. Ask the questions. Be curious.
Yes.
That's a big part of the job. Like, you're safe to do these things here. And I think at the end of the day, it's people feeling safe to be themselves.
Yeah, you got to create that space of safety so that they feel like they can, like,
exactly.
They have the freedom to fail.
Exactly.
If they want to.
And when people feel safe like that and people feel happy in their environment, then people are productive and people care.
Yeah, I love that. Something we say at Ranger Station a lot is you know, you've already made the team. Once you're on the team, it's like you've made the team.
Yeah, that's
and
so
it's
true.
And now we want you to go, like, excel in the position that
And
you're playing on the team.
contribute to the team. Yeah.
And sometimes that looks like failing, you know, and trying new things, and not everything's going to work. And something else that we say a lot, which you saying, like, we want people to feel the freedom to try things and fail, and the safety through that is, I think Ranger Station started out of this place, but a question we ask all the time is, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
And the worst thing that could happen is never that, like, you try something and that it fails, but the worst case scenario is that 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're still asking the question of, what if I had done that? The worst thing that could happen is you never try.
Yeah.
And I think that's been cool. And I see this in your business a lot too, is just how it's so much growth has come out of just the freedom to just try things and see what sticks and see what lands.
Yeah.
And just to watch people come onto the team that are so different, and the new ideas that they bring to the team and the new growth that drives. And it's just really cool to see that. And like you said, like, giving people the freedom to fail and to own that, and then that moves them into something even greater, and then they create something new that they wouldn't have been able to if they didn't have that space to fail, and then that brought them to the new idea.
Yeah.
Something I like to say is there's only conflict when you care, right?
Yeah.
So when there's conflict, especially between family and the business, how do you guys usually resolve that? Or what does that usually look like?
Well, a lot of processing out loud. You know, honestly, we're very fortunate that we don't typically disagree, and I mean, like, strongly, right? Where it's like, no, I hate that. Like, we don't have, like, that polarization. Like, most of the time, we are fortunate enough to agree. Like, we're very like-minded, have similar taste. So we don't run into that a whole lot, but I think it's, at the end of the day, it's just compromise is really what it is. And, you know, when our father was alive, he was not really capable of making decisions. You know, we would joke, but it was the truth. You would ask him a question that had a yes or no response, and that man would find a way to answer with anything but yes or no. You know, Dad, do you want to go to lunch? So-and-so. Well, we can. It's like, well, yeah, we can do anything, but we need a yes or no. So I think because we've been raised and exposed to that, Drew and I are very decisive. I mean, like, very decisive.
Yeah, like, you had to fill that space, so you were just,
Yeah, and our father, very creative, loved to start a project, very innovative, but really kind of didn't like to finish the project. So I think that we have a nice blend of innovation and implementation, but you know, we haven't really had a battle yet I'd say where we've had a battle. Like, we've been very fortunate that we've not really had that, and that it's not something we can't talk through or compromise.
Yeah, I feel super similarly, where it's, again, I think it goes back to the trust that's there with family, and the trust that no matter what the other person is feeling, that it's coming from a place of ultimate care around
Yeah,
what
you
we're
know their
creating
intent.
together.
You know the
Yeah.
intent.
Yeah, so even if you're like, for me especially, even if Jordan and I are disagreeing about something, or John and I, or really, and it's translated to the whole team really, is if there's a disagreement, it's because they care a lot about where that's going, about the decision that's being made, and I think that makes it so much easier to have the disagreement, or to have the conflict, and it creates a safer place where I think sometimes, and I think it's another cool thing for our whole team, where it opens up the more team even more.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
things like that, where they see us do it,
and they'll start just asking questions.
Right.
Like, well, hey guys, did you ever think about? No, I totally agree with that. There's nothing worse than a polite relationship. A polite relationship is the absence of passion.
Yeah.
And that is not a place where I want to be.
I've not heard it said that way, but that's perfect. Yeah.
Well, I've lived it.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's not a place you want to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you want people to be in a place where they feel like they can voice the things that are important to them.
Yeah. And I
think Jordan and I will even have, like, we'll be in meetings where it's like Jordan and I and some other people on our team, and we'll leave the meeting and Jordan and I will be like, were we too blunt or like honest? And we're like, no. It's so good to do that. It's so good to like put that out there and to show that care, even if it looks like we're butting heads about something. Maybe we are butting heads about something, but
that doesn't mean that it's negative.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It just means you care, and you're both trying to get to the same result.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is really special.
We also, our mom was a social worker for many years, so I think we're like adverse to confrontation.
Yep.
So that's why I use processing out loud more so than like, there's never any yelling or outbursts or anything like that, thankfully for our people, but
yeah,
I think we kind of got that out of our systems through our childhood. So
there you go.
Yeah,
we're the same. We can get very blunt. We're not like loud or aggressive.
No, we're the same way.
Yeah. The people will laugh often because I'll be like, guys, I've got this great idea. What if we did this? And Jordan will be sitting in the room and she'll just go, no.
That's how.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
That's how Drew is also.
Yeah. I love that.
Very, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. With the Willett products, whiskey drinkers have options, right? So when they come to Willett for a reason, and I believe a big part of that reason is because they can see, like you said, you guys don't have investors. You're still family run. Like, how do you feel like that comes through in the product, in what you guys create?
Well, I think that anybody who has ever come to our family's distillery feels like they are in our home, because they are. I mean, it is an extension of our home. I mean, you are there. You're sitting at my home.
Yes. I'm at your actual home now.
Yeah, you're at my actual home.
Yeah.
So it really is an extension of our home. And all of our people that we work with truly are extended family. And again, that's not just what we say, it's how we live. It's how we are. And because of that, and it's our name on everything, and everything we do is so intentional and it's mindful, but every single person is like that on our property, because everybody sees how directly impactful they are, right? You get immediate reactions, the tour guides with the people that they're hosting a tour with, or tastings, our restaurant and bar. I mean, just everybody has these direct interactions where they can see in real life, like, the impact that's being made. I mean, they really, truly see it in real life immediately in front of them. And it's just something you can't articulate. It's something you feel, and then that feeling just becomes a knowing.
Oh, that's so good. Being in your home. Jordan and I always say we just opened our New York City store, and people asked us, what was your inspiration for the store? And it literally was, we want you to feel like you're walking into our living room.
Yeah.
And that's what we've said about the brand for so long too, is when you bring a Ranger Station product home, we want you to feel like you're walking into our living room. If you come over to our house, like, we're gonna have made you a meal, I'm gonna offer to make you a cocktail the second you walk in the door, like, we're gonna have records on, like, it's a full experience, and that's just, we just care about those things.
Yeah.
So when we ship a product to anybody, we want that same experience. That's why every candle comes with a cocktail pairing, because we want you to be able to create that same experience. And I love that piece of just inviting people in.
Yeah.
To
Well,
what-
I mean, I think we both literally pour ourselves into our product, like pouring yourself into the bottle of your hand, pouring your candle. Like
Yeah.
we truly pour our souls into the product.
Totally.
How could you not feel that?
Yeah, I love that. In fragrance and in whiskey, there's always the external pressure of, how do we quickly do the thing that is in vogue right now? How do you maintain commitment to the craft itself and not fall prey to just churning something out quick that feels like it's the hot thing of the moment,
I think for our business it's kind of a timelessness, right? So there are people in this business doing things that are trendy,
Totally.
but it is likely because they just got into this business. Our grandfather started our distillery in 1936. I don't know what he was thinking 3 years after Prohibition, but it worked out really well for the family.
I love how so many businesses started from that place of like, this is a terrible idea.
I know, isn't it? Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
But, almost 90 years in business, like obviously whatever we're doing works, right? We have 6 different mash bills. Most of them are original to our grandfather. So we don't really do things that are trendy.
I love that.
But we're fortunate to where we don't have to, because we do have that ancestry, we do have that history that not everybody can say that they have. And I think, too, when you're just putting out a quality product where, again, you're in this business for, I don't want to sound judgmental, but I'm just going to say for what I believe to be the right reason, which is not for a profit. Yes, we need to make a profit to stay in business, but that is not why we're doing this. If your business model is to create a brand to sell the brand, you're doing something trendy. To me, you're not doing something for the same reason while we're doing it. Very different.
Yeah.
So we have different levels investments if that's the end result that we're seeking. Again, not shared values.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I think,
It's not a means to an
No,
end. It's
no.
worth this is worth.
and I would say we don't do things that are trendy, but we always make sure we're relevant. And I think as long as you're putting something out there where your passion meets your purpose, and you're pouring your soul into it, and people know that, I think that will be deeply felt, and you will always be relevant.
I love that. Yeah, because it's like I think part of creation of whether it's fragrance or whiskey, it's like you're creating for yourself for sure, but you're also creating, it's like a part of yourself that you want other people to experience. So there's also this, you're trying to translate your story into something that other people will
But
appreciate.
I love that you're saying that, because I think what we're really doing is we're telling our story.
It's all storytelling.
I'm not making this for this audience. We're just telling our story. Not everybody's going to get our story. Not everybody's going to love our story, but we're just telling our story.
And I think that's what makes it relevant, is that if you're telling a real story, like so many people, I compare fragrance to music so much, and it's, songwriters are writing these songs that are just, very personal to them, but then when people hear it, they attach that to their own
They
memory.
relate.
Like whiskey, perfume, candles, it's all storytelling, and I think one of the most important things is to realize, like, any company to realize is that, like, you can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah, and I don't want to be.
You don't want to be. You want to tell an honest story that's real and true, and if you do that, you will be relevant, not to everybody, but to the people who really matter and who are really going to care about what you're creating. Because what you're creating is honest, and the story that it's telling, they can relate to, which I think is really special.
But you know what I love about this marriage here is, like, the sensory experience.
Yeah.
And for me, the most powerful sense we have is the sense of smell. It can take me back to a memory that is unique to me, as unique as my DNA. And
Do you have a specific one?
I do. And I think about, for example, the very first barrel pick I did on my own, I named frosted yeast rolls.
You told me this, yes,
And
I
it
love
was
this.
because, our grandmother, Willett, every Thanksgiving we make homemade yeast rolls.
Do you still make them?
We do
I'll
every
see you at
Thanksgiving. Absolutely. And, my job, 5 years old, was to make the icing. And the icing was Old Bardstown bourbon and powdered sugar. Just pour it in a bowl, make a slurry. I would always eat the first bowl.
Yeah.
And then I would make the second bowl
Just
and
the icing straight.
Oh yeah, and just drizzle it on the rolls.
Those were the days.
So again, all of those memories are baked in, and it's so complicated, it's so layered. There's so many feeling 27 different emotions simultaneously.
Yes.
So what that means to me can't mean anything to anybody else. Like it's
Totally.
a memory that is just
It's
preserved.
so personal.
It's so personal. But to me, like that is the sensory experience of scents. It's the most powerful, like memory trigger there is.
Yes.
You know?
And I think what's so special is, we're talking about storytelling. We're talking about family. And I think what's so cool about this candle, this bourbon, and just fragrance and whiskey in general is, you think about what people are using these products for, and it's to tell their own stories, right?
Yeah.
They're at Thanksgiving. There's a fragrance element to that. They're sipping whiskey with their family and people that they love, and I think it's so cool that we get to take our personal and family stories, translate them into these products, and then people get to take them and create their own stories together with their families and the people that they love, of like sitting around the Thanksgiving table,
Yeah.
With a candle burning and a bourbon in their hand. Like this is what people are doing. People are having conversations like this when they're burning candles, when they're sipping whiskey. And I think it's so special that these storytelling pieces get to go help other people tell stories too.
And you know why it's so important today is it's all about connectivity. And there is so much disconnection right now because people are getting...
We're so connected digitally.
Yeah, they're so connected digitally that they don't realize they're even missing this until they get it,
Yeah.
And there is nothing like connecting over, a pour on the porch and having real conversations.
And I think
You know?
analog experiences are only getting more important because of that. And these are two analog experiences that go together so well that will, you can't recreate this
No.
in any other way.
No.
Yeah, I think family businesses can be really unique, right? Because, a lot of businesses probably started out as family businesses, but they're not anymore.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like is the unique advantage that being a family business brings to the market that consumers can relate to?
We are so emotionally invested. So I think being so emotionally invested, again, literally pouring your soul into what you're doing, right? Like you are living your passion. Again, where I talked about before, where your passion intersects with your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that doesn't come through to the end user of your product. There's just no way that it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Because it's in the product itself.
Yeah. It's just like as simple as when you're cooking a meal for someone and you're cooking it out of love. You taste that.
Yeah.
Versus someone who is just, let me just shovel something out to put on your table and get out the door.
You can tell the care and the time.
Very
and
different
purpose.
intent. We're very personally, emotionally invested in everything that we do. And that to me is an immeasurable edge.
And I think it's always putting the purpose of what you're creating first.
Yeah.
Right? That's back to your point of like, if your number one goal is to make money, like this probably isn't the place for you. But I always feel like as long as you keep what you do and the creation of what you do and the purpose behind that is number one, it's like, the financial piece takes care of itself.
Yeah.
As long as you're keeping why you do what you do as a priority.
If you don't lose your intent and you don't lose your integrity,
Yep.
is really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
We're not here to be on every shelf. We want to be on the right shelf.
Yes.
That is how I feel
Yes.
that's an edge.
So you said, Britt, earlier, you don't shut it off, right? It's like impossible to fully shut it off. So how do you, with family business, how do you create separation? Or maybe separation isn't even the right word, but how do you create the balance between, work and life?
Well, I'm not very good at balance or moderation. And in fact, one thing about family business is you do truly have to be accessible and approachable all the time, every single day. I'd say that we don't really have a good balance, but thankfully our families enjoy each other and we have a really fun job. and we typically can work everywhere we go. So yes, our Thanksgiving table is also the boardroom table. We don't really have a separation of church and state, but again, we enjoy what we're doing, and so it's fun. It's not work.
Yeah.
It's not work.
Yeah, I think that's so special to have that where it is. And again, I think so much of it goes back to that idea that, there doesn't have to be a hard line between work and life. Like, work is part of life, right? So like when you can have it a piece of just your everyday with the people that you love the most, I think that makes it extra special.
I'm very fortunate that I don't work with my husband. And so I naturally am going to have some separation, right? Where it's
sure.
I need to cut it off because I want to be present with him.
Yep.
So I do get that from that angle, but otherwise I really would not.
Yeah, because Jordan and I, my wife, like we definitely have, especially with kids, we've had to learn. It's so easy when things are going great.
Yeah.
To be like, let's keep like at dinner, like keep going. But when there's an issue or something that's hard, we've had to learn how to like, okay, when we're sitting down to dinner, we need to shut that off.
Yeah. Do you have like your boundaries and rules where it's like, hey,
we're sitting down
6
at the
p.m.,
table. Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about.
We're with the kids. Like, it's not like, this isn't like solve the issue time.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But most of the time it is just like so cool that work and life blends so well.
Yeah.
Because it is all just one thing together, which is really special.
It's pretty effortless.
Yeah. For better or worse, I think about it, maybe I think about it too much, but is just like legacy and like what legacy means. Just in that, like, our time here is short, right? So how do we leave
forever?
How do we leave? How do we leave it better than we found it? And like, what do we leave behind? And I think we're in a unique position with a family business to do that. What does that look like for y'all when it comes to legacy, when it comes to, what you'll leave behind in this business? What does legacy mean to you?
I think a big thing is how we make people feel, right? So I had someone share with me recently, and I thought it was really interesting. I hadn't thought about it because I'm on a different side of this than they are, but they said, I just want to thank you because we have shared so much of life over your whiskey. We've had celebrations of life and death, marriages, births, some of the darkest days, some of the lightest days, but like what we've been able to share and survive with your whiskey, just thank you.
I literally just got chills as you said
and
that. Like,
to
I get
me
that. Yes.
Is, and so did I.
Yeah.
Like, I have a complete arm handstand. But to me, like, that is why we're doing it, And when we get these emails of, I've named my son Noah, I've named my daughter Rowan, we poured your bottle at our wedding, those are the things that people are sharing their largest moments, their most momentous moments of their entire life with our whiskey. There is no greater honor, and I'm so humbled every time I get one of those emails.
Yeah, I love that. Those are the most special things to me too, where we'll get, a message of like, hey, this cologne reminds me of my dad who passed away.
Yeah.
Or we had this candle burning during this amazing family event, and like our memory of that is so much stronger because of it. It's getting those personal stories. And this just goes back to, the fact that we get to do this with family, and the reason that we choose to do it with family is because it's just an amazing story to live with family, to do this with them, and that then it gets to go out into the world and do that with countless other people. I think is true magic that happens.
Yeah.
Cheers to this project, to this new whiskey, and just to this new relationship with Ranger Station and Willett, and also just you and I. I'm so grateful for this time that we get to spend together. And I'm just really grateful for this day and for this future relationship.
So am I. Here's to family.
Here's to family.
And the idle
Cheers.
hour.
And the idle hour.